Okay, today we're going to look at angles and just really recap from primary school times and what you might have learnt, and if there's something new, and just to make sure that we've got all the basics before we move on to angle properties. So we're just going to do a post today to make it nice and straightforward, just to help you embed that knowledge. And drawing really does help that. You can visualize the drawing as you're doing it and it stays in your memory. Angles. So we've got a title and some borders on there. This bit. So we're going to look at a couple of angles. So let's have a look at the first one that most people know when we're drawing these. So we're going to draw an angle like this. I'm not going to use any protractors today. We're just going to draw them like this. And this is the key, that little bit there. And that tells us, no matter how it's drawn out, that tells us what type of angle that is. And this, as you probably know, is a right angle. And a right angle is always 90 degrees onto there. And that's what that symbol means. That symbol means it's 90 degrees. So we know our right angle. Then we look at another angle, and people don't really think this is an angle, but it is one. So I'm just going to draw it, and on there I'm just going to call that in. And that is a straight line. So you know it, but you don't often think of it as being an angle. Straight line. And a straight line is two of these right angles next to each other. So if I drew a little dotted line going up here, you can see it's two 90 degrees. And 90 plus 90 is going to give me 180 degrees. So a straight line is always 180 degrees. I'm going to have a look at another angle you probably remember. Now this one, I'm going to draw it out and then I'll put some numbers on it in a minute. Purple for this. Okay. And this is more than 0 and less than 90. It must be less than 90. If it's 90, it's a right angle. So it could be 89.9999, and that will be this angle here. And this is the smallest angle we have, and it's called the acute angle. A-C-U-T-E, because it's small and cute. It's a acute angle. Next angle we'll look at is this one. If I draw this onto here, a little dotted line, you can see it is more than 90 degrees on that. I'm going to draw the angle in. I'll have that pink this time. Pink. And this, therefore, is more than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees, like your straight line. So it's more than a right angle, less than a straight line onto here. And this one is called obtuse. the obtuse angle. Okay, well, another one coming up now. Now this one is going to be like that. It looks very similar to this, but there's a slight difference. The angle goes round on the outside of this one. So this one is more than 180, but less than 360. And if you think about this one, 180, all the way around there, that's 360. So a full turnaround is 360. This one's called a reflex. Onto there. Now I'm just going to do a couple more words that I just want you to be able to know as we move on to the properties later on. And that is, if I'm just going to draw this out, it'll be easy to do it rather than explain it. And this, if you see, is like the right angle, or where we had our straight line down here. This is called a perpendicular line. Perpendicular line. And it is always at 90 degrees. So a right angle is perpendicular. And you'll hear that phrase, perpendicular, and that's all it means. It just means it's 90 degrees. So there. And one final phrase I'm going to use on these ones is these two lines here. And I'm going to use my ruler to do this because it's much easier. So one side, then the other side, and I'm going to put two arrows on here. On here. And these are called parallel lines, and they never touch. They never touch on there. Now a parallel line go on forever like a train track onto here. Spelling wise, I always think about this because I never quite remember if it's got double L or single L, but if you think about it, it's got two parallel lines in the middle, so you always remember that if you're trying to spell it properly, it's got parallel lines there. And I'm going to finish this off onto here. Now I'm going to spend some time just decorating this. It's just think about it as you're doing the shading in. You can sort of like just to do a bit of mindfulness, and then look over the words. And as you're colouring in, the words start to go into your mind. You start to notice them a little bit more because you're looking at them for an extended period of time. And hopefully, by the time you finish the poster, you won't have to learn this again. This will just be inbuilt knowledge on there, but in your muscle memory. Okay, so your task today is to produce a poster of a right angle, a straight angle, an acute angle, an obtuse angle, a reflex, and also a perpendicular line and two parallel lines. Okay, thank you.